So after today, boys, there is no going back. After we make these cuts, there's no going back. We're committed. Welcome back, boys. So today we're gonna be cutting up the frame here. This is a big day. Now, originally, I know I said that we weren't gonna even touch the frame until all of the transmission and all of the motor and everything was running. However, we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes with the planning and like figuring out where everything's gonna go. This is pretty much a fully custom build, except for like, yeah, we do have the full block and everything. However, we still need to hook everything up, figure out where everything's gonna go exactly, where everything's gonna be mounted, where we're gonna put the tabs. We've drawn up a couple different renderings, trying to plan this all out. However, we've finished most of our parts shopping from here all the way until the front of the motor. So that's where everything's ordered. We have the new shifter on the way, new shift shaft on the way, all of the parts for the transmission, like the gaskets and everything like that. This is big. We have the transfer plate coming in. We got a custom transfer plate built, well, at least we're getting it built, and that's gonna take like 4 to 5 weeks just to ship out. So in the meantime, opposed to just letting this thing sit here, we're gonna do some work on the frame and everything else that we can do. So what that custom transfer plate is gonna do is it's going to make the Volkswagen transmission fit to the Ford motor right here. So with that, we also have a stage 4 clutch on the way, starter, the whole like clutch cage, everything you need in there. There might be a few more things. Oh yeah, also I got some of the interior stuff ordered. We have a new steering wheel coming, seat belts are on the way. Haven't decided on seats yet. I'm thinking just black. I was looking at some gray ones, but they really didn't fit with some of the colors I was going for. So I'm thinking black seats, but I don't know yet. I have one of these switch panels that's gonna go in here ordered. We are gonna need to get a dash. We need to get a dash that has a GPS for speed. If eventually we wanna make this thing street legal, we need to have that speed there. But that GPS is gonna make it a lot easier so that we don't have to hook up wires to track the actual speed, so we can just do it via GPS opposed to hooking it up to the wheels. And I don't even know how you hook up that system, but it's a lot more work to do that opposed to just having a GPS. So our main goal for this video is all of this mesh and all of these plates are gonna be cut up, and we're gonna try to clean up all of that down there and get this thing ready. We are gonna end up putting some new skid plates on here. This stuff, for the most part, it's falling off. It's kind of just garbage. This is completely ruined down there. So that just needs to go. I know I've been kind of like saying one thing and then doing another during these videos, but like, just bear with me, guys. This is the first time I've ever done this, so yeah, I apologize if I'm like, oh, this part, we're gonna do this, and then later on I'm like, oh yeah, we changed our mind. This is better. I personally completely underestimated how much like time and energy it was gonna take behind the scenes. I'm okay with it, it's totally fine, but like each part I've had to completely research and figure out how it's gonna work with the other parts we're gonna get, you know, make sure everything fits. Before this build, I like kind of knew how each part worked and how everything worked together, but like I didn't know intricately how like the radiator or how the intercooler, how all that stuff, what's the proper way to fit it together or stuff like that. Like I knew how your engine got cooled, but I didn't, you know, fully understand, like I couldn't do it myself. So now this is the first time I'm doing this, so we're learning a lot. Also, I forgot to mention this, we have an intercooler, radiator, and gas tank. Those are all on the way. The intercooler is gonna go up top here, most likely, and then the radiator is gonna go down here on like an angle. Gas tank, it's kind of like a long cylinder. We're probably gonna stuff that in one of these side little areas here. I'm thinking we put the gas tank in one and then the other one we make like a storage. That's our tentative plans right now. But I'm pretty sure that's the most for updates right now. Let's get to cutting. All right, so this is all done. This is cut out here. We're gonna have to go over all this little stuff with like a angle grinder or something a little bit later on. But right now, we are gonna move over to the big frame itself. That was just this back portion right here that kind of goes under and supports the motor. This is gonna be a big job, but I think we can handle it. Also, I'm kind of thinking, maybe not this video, I don't know, it depends on how much we get done this video, but one of these videos soon, I think we're gonna clean up these rims and sand these down and get these all ready and prepped. because we really like, since we're waiting on parts, there's not a whole lot we can do. So I want to make sure that as soon as we get all of the parts, we can rebuild the transmission immediately and then, you know, move on to the motor. The two main things that we were really worried about was, one, that transfer plate. So it's lucky we found a good solution for that. And then two, we're going to need to get a new ECU. The original ECU we had, it was out of the Ford Edge that it came out of. And the problem with that, we think, is that we're not going to have all of the technology, all the sensors, all the everything that that ECU is used to with the Ford Edge. So we probably need to get a standalone ECU with, I think, one more wiring harness to get the motor wired up properly, because the standalone ECU is going to be able to do all of this stuff while that ECU is tuned and like regulated to work with the Ford Edge and all of the other things that the Ford Edge has. And we don't have half the sensors. We're thinking it would throw so many codes that it wouldn't even start up. At least that's like kind of the idea that we're going for, that I think. So that's kind of one other thing we're researching and looking on now, is that wiring harness. But that custom transfer plate was huge. It cost us $800 for the clutch, that's a stage 4 clutch, starter, and that custom transfer plate, which isn't too bad. But over the next couple of weeks, all of those parts are gonna be coming in, and I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be like Christmas. But right now it's time to move on and get all this mesh, and hopefully these out of here too. So we stopped here for a second. This is coming off pretty good. We got a new tool though. Hopefully this will work a little bit better on that, but it's just kind of slow and steady. This is coming off. That's our plan here. Caden over here is gonna see if we can do something about these wheels. I'm not sure how much of this we're gonna be able to do today. Now that we got two different sets of tools, hopefully that'll speed things up a little bit. All right, boys, it's actually been a couple days. I took a couple day break to work on some other stuff and film a couple different videos, but we're back now, and this is kind of our progress here. So we're cutting all of this out. This is, I'd say, maybe about halfway done. We're cutting this off in sections, and we'll have to go by and get all these little things later with like a grinder or something. We are going to take a pause on the wheels for a little bit, because we were thinking these are kind of like rusted pretty bad. This is going to take a long time to do, and it's really not that expensive to buy new wheels for this thing. Tires are pretty expensive, but these wheels are not that expensive really. So we're probably going to wait on these and maybe clean these up later in a different video where we use this as like maybe a spare set or a sand set, and we have one for street or something like that. We're going to keep these around. I don't want to get rid of these right away, but we might end up buying new wheels. Not sure. Also, we are working on the transmission again right now. We're going to drain this thing up. We don't have our new gaskets and all of our new transmission stuff here yet, but we're still going to clean this up. This is the new diff that we have to put in here, because that's for a solid rear axle. This is for the one on each side like we have in this thing. So yeah, we're going to continue to cut this thing up and keep going. All right, so we got that old diff out. Now we're gonna put the new diff in there, and that will have to attach to, these are the old like sidewalls. That's gonna have to attach to these new ones. Those are for the individual axles right there. boys, update time. As you can see here, the frame is all cut out here. We have all this mesh removed. There's still these little things right here that I'm gonna have to go through again before we sand this and get all those out of there. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that, maybe like a die grinder or something else. But all that mesh is gone and out of there. Finally, that took kind of a long time. Moving along to the transmission over here. We're still waiting on a few of the gaskets and some other parts here. However, there is a bearing or bolt or whatever, this guy right here, that we need to order a new one of. So we need to get one of those. Then we're waiting on our transmission parts, and then this whole transmission is going to be painted and should be together. I kind of just wanted to shoot this video because we don't have a whole lot to do yet until the transmission parts are in. So we were kind of just waiting around with that, getting that transmission ready so that we can put it together once all the parts are in. But I didn't want to get rid of some of this body work. I know this stuff can take a long time, so if I can get a jump start on it now, that would be kind of cool. I still do need to order some wiring harnesses for this motor. This takes a lot of work and a lot of research, so a ton of research goes into each part that I'm buying. So I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing, so it's not like you can just go online and buy everything all in at one sitting. It takes a lot of work, but this whole build has been kind of a learning experience for me. I'm learning everything along the way, so we're not doing things exactly in order, and we're just kind of, every problem we'll take care of it as it comes up. But that is going to be all for this video, guys. We got a lot more stuff going on here. Next video, I'm hoping, will be the transmission fully put together and painted, and then maybe we'll take a look at some of the other parts that we got in as well. And then once the transmission's done, we're moving on to the motor, and in the meantime, we might do some body work here or there while we're waiting on parts, just trying to keep the project moving while we're waiting on stuff to come in. However, I'm going to end this video off here. I hope you all are having a great and amazing day. Make sure to smash subscribe to stay tuned for the build. If you guys like this progress so far, a like would really be cool, and I'd really appreciate it. I hope you all have a great and amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.